Yes.
That was very good. Sorry, I threw some questions at you.
Oh, you're
I
good.
was like, oh,
You're
as a
good.
parent, I'd
It's
want to know.
great.
All
It's
right,
great.
so be patient with me because this is literally my first conference on
Oh,
this
you're
side of
good.
things. Okay.
Totally good.
And I know I'm recording it, but I'm gonna pause. Hello and welcome. Thank you for meeting with me today. I really appreciate you taking out the time. I know our schedules are busy. The reason we're here though is we're going to go over John's. Um, it's a reading plan for him. So it's called an IRIP or IRIP. It's Individualized Reading Improvement Plan. And basically the goal is to give John the support that he needs to be at the level, at his grade level for reading, comprehension, even writing and speaking language skills. So, first things first, I want to let you know John is such a joy to have in class. He's very excited about lots of things except for reading, but that's okay. We're gonna get him there. He's very creative. He loves science and he's really great at math. So I like to think of those two things to tie into some reading activities we'll do with him. Um, he does have great spoken vocabulary for his age as a third grader. And another thing that I have to commend you and him on are his attendance. His attendance is great. So thank you very much.
It's
That
tough, but
is,
we manage.
I know it's tough, but that's really important for especially grade school kids. So these strengths are great, and I want to use these to help motivate him in his reading journey. So, some of the things that we have noticed. So, we have done some screenings and assessments. And right now, let's see. So, for his fluency, his oral reading. So, as a third grader, you should be in the beginning of the third grade year reading about 80, 90 words per minute. And then at the end of the year, that should obviously go up. So right now, John is only at 41. So that is a little low. Now, when he does read, his accuracy is great. He's at 97% accuracy. So he's definitely taking his time and getting the words correctly. But sometimes what we can notice if he is using all that brain power and taking his time on these words, the actual context is gone. He doesn't know what he's reading because he just wants to get the words correct. So we did also notice we did some iReady tests, which is on the computers. That's for him to do one-on-one. And what's cool about that is it's kind of fun. So they have like brain breaks and games and stuff for him to do. And then I get to see the results and like the data that comes from it. And so for phonics, he is a little below on segmenting, blending, and nonsense words. And I see that a lot in kids because they literally are nonsense words. And they're
Mhm.
like, what? I don't even know how to say this. Um, Sometimes he confuses vowels. So the AI, EI, those sounds, they get flipped about. And I'm not too worried about that because the English language is a little silly sometimes. So that will come more with experience. A couple things I have observed in the classroom. Uh, he seems to get distracted really easily. So, and I don't know if it's because reading is hard for him. So he is kind of trying to avoid it. And so distractions can be a little easier. Um, or he doesn't want to maybe others around him to know that reading is kind of challenging. Those are
Yeah.
totally normal things, especially for that age. Have you noticed anything like that?
I have seen some of that at home too, especially if we're at the park and it's the kids are playing a game that he doesn't understand. He won't ask to join, because he doesn't know it. And even though they'll teach him, he doesn't like not knowing those things. So
Sure. No, I totally understand. Thank you. So, some things that we would like to do is obviously work on that, um, the blendings, the vowels, um, but also like fluency and practice. We want him to be a little quicker. We want him to be able to read the story with feeling, the way maybe it should if someone else was going to read it to him. Keep doing repeated readings. So that way he may have one story, but we are going to repeatedly read it until he can read it at 90 words per minute or whatever, and then still be able to retell or answer questions on that story. Yeah. So let's see. So my goal is to obviously increase his words per minute, work on those vowel team, and decoding. We would like to get his accuracy, um, not only to stay where it's at or even increase, but with those blended sounds that he was struggling with, we want that accuracy to go up. And then also with the comprehension and retelling of stories. I would like to meet with him 2 to 3 times per week, possibly. We do have a smaller group this year, so I have a little more flexibility. We can have 2 to 3 students at a time, so he's not alone. They're all very supportive of each other. None of my students make anyone feel kind of silly for not knowing. He does seem to really enjoy iReady, and that's something you might be able to do at home with him too if you have a Chromebook or a computer. And then, of course, we'll do some informal kind of progress monitoring to see where we are at with all of that. Um, I do plan to reconvene after the holidays because we're going to have a lot of time off. So
Mhm.
maybe in January, touch back, see where he's at, and then go from there. All right, so to wrap it up, some things that you guys could do at home if you like are with books or even objects, um, pointing it out. So touching it, pointing it out, saying it, and then moving your hands to a beat. So he can hear the syllables. You can look for the CVC, so consonant vowel, so he knows exactly what those letters should sound like. Another one I like is well, I don't know. My kids are mostly all gamers. I can't believe they game at this young. But
Mhm.
so when he plays games, he has to read everything. Or instead of him asking how to spell something, he's got to try. Having closed captioning on. So even though he's hearing it, but the words are always on the screen for him. That's something that might be helpful if he's into games and stuff. Um, and then of course his motivation. He doesn't want to read. Well, why doesn't he want to read? Maybe because it's hard.
Mhm.
But what if we found something that he was really, really into? So he gets to choose what he reads, something that is interesting to him, so he'll want to do it. Do you have any questions for me?
Um, so you mentioned progress monitoring. How often would that be with him?
I mean, honestly, because my group is so small, um, just by doing informal observations, every time we work together, I'm going to be taking data on like what he's doing or how it's going. So those will all kind of get saved and compiled and be able to be shared out. If I wanted to do more formal progress monitoring, the iReady is great for that because that's going to keep him at the levels he needs to be. It will challenge him a little more and more and more, but then it tells us exactly what he's getting better at or what he still needs some work on.
Perfect. Would you be able to send me the iReady information?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. And I know sometimes like with those apps, there'll be times where only block times where you can access it. And that's just so kids aren't doing it nonstop. I mean, I don't know what kids do, but yeah, I could definitely send that to you.
All right. And I think that's it.
All right. Well, awesome. Thanks for meeting with me, and I look forward to speaking again.
Yes, thank you.